Welcome to Conversations with Rakesh. Here's a question that you sent me. Sir, I couldn't clear an entrance exam and have lost my confidence. This has badly impacted my life. I am not even able to speak up these days. How do I fix my confidence and bring it back to the original levels? This is such a deep question because we often lose our confidence not just by failures in exams but by a variety of issues. Sometimes the issues could be how we perceive our own bodies to be and compare with others that, oh, I'm fat and that person is better looking than me. Oh, I have a darker skin or a whiter skin. Oh, I have an accent. I don't know how to speak good language. Or maybe I'm not from a good school. So we compare with each other, and probably there are various factors that cause us to lose our confidence. Failure in exams being very important one of them. Now let's understand and break this question into few more parts, that what exactly happened when you could not clear that exam, and how did you find out that your confidence is impacted, because this is very critical. So here is how certain things happen in our mind, that when we fail or when we could not clear a very critical exam, first of all, we live in this super crazy world where we give too much importance to success these days. I think we should stop doing it. This entire madness to be numero uno and number one in everything what you do is killing all of us. But this is the way the world is. So we have to first understand all these dynamics and start to make peace with it. That I think deep inside, when you're living in this super competitive world which always wants you to be number one, and when you don't come close to the success criteria of the world and you fail, then there are lots of things that you start doing to your own self. The first is you start doubting your own self, that okay, I could not clear this exam, so I think I am now doubting my own capability. So your problem is that you are suffering from self doubt. Now, that's not where it stops. Self doubt goes to one more deeper layer inside our minds, that you start to feel guilty about the whole stuff and you start pitying yourself. So you go through self pity. Sometimes you start doing tremendous amount of criticism of your own self, that, oh, how could I not crack this exam? I should have worked harder. So you keep beating yourself a lot. And finally, you lose your self worth and you start thinking that I'm not good enough, I don't deserve anything. And these thoughts become more and more vicious. And finally, you start losing your self esteem. So, my dear friend, whoever has asked this question, who's suffering from a failure because of an exam or other issues because of which you're feeling very low, I think one is that your confidence is very, very low because you're doubting yourself, you're pitying yourself, you feel you're not worth it, and finally you are suffering from very, very low, almost zero self esteem. To me, that is a big problem. And I think all of us should take cognizance that our self esteem is very, very critical for our lives, especially today. There's this amazing movie that I encourage you to watch, which I think I'm glad we made it in India. It was called Jab We Met. And Jab We Met was a turning point in Indian cinema, because Indian cinema is all about this alpha male who has to be the best dancer, can, beat 20 people, save the lady, and, be a charismatic person. And Jab We Met was exactly the opposite, that the male character was shown as a person going through a lot of problems, almost like a loser. And he meets this charismatic woman in the train. And this woman is full of life and she's so happy and bubbly. And there's this marvelous scene in the movie where this guy, Shahid Kapoor, is admiring this girl, Kareena Kapoor, and says a lovely dialogue that you seem to like yourself a lot. And Kareena Kapoor, her name is Geet in that movie, says a landmark dialogue in the history of Indian cinema, and that dialogue is, मैं अपनी favorite हूँ. This dialogue is the essence of self-esteem, that I think all of us should learn to appreciate ourselves first. Let's not focus on the world appreciating us, because the world has its own problems and the world will criticize us and we have to deal with that. But the first thing is that you have to start accepting yourself, who you are, and respecting yourself. Self respect is very critical, because self respect and the attitude towards yourself builds the next layer. Because of that, you start feeling worthy of love. So your self worth goes up. You stop pitying yourself and your self doubts go away. And that's the path to high self esteem. So please start accepting yourself as you are, with all your faults galore, doesn't really matter. But if you do not appreciate yourself, please don't expect the world to appreciate you. So please raise your self esteem, which is nothing but telling yourself that I'm worthy of respect, I'm worthy of being appreciated, and I'm worthy of being liked by others. That is step number one. The second thing is that once your self esteem is on the road to recovery, which takes some time, please remember that don't jump into fixing self confidence. You need to first fix your self esteem. Now, some people don't focus on self esteem and focus on confidence and start faking confidence, which is possible. But let me caution you, it will mess up with your mental wellness. Because very soon you'll realize that you are being an imposter. When you're not true to your core values and you start faking your behavior, it impacts your self esteem. In fact, there's a lovely book you should read called Six Pillars of Self Esteem by Nathaniel Brandon, I think. And there are videos of that on YouTube as well, a summary of that. And he says that one of the very essential pillar of self-esteem is your core value and how you practice your core values with your life. So please don't fix your confidence without fixing your self-esteem, and be very true to yourself. So that's the second point. Now let's come to the third point, which is how do we then increase our confidence, which is shattered because of these failures. And there are two, three suggestions I have for you. That please, first of all, look inside your lives and find out those activities where you're very good at and focus on those activities. Sometimes we focus on those activities where we want the world to accept that, and we may be very poor at it, but we have to write an exam where we have to get a job and we are not good at those activities. I think that's the disaster we all have carved for ourselves. So, step one, look inside and ask yourself, what are those activities where I'm really, really good at? And let's say the answer is you're very good at movie making. Once you have identified that skill where you're very good at, then make a small milestone on that. That okay, I'm going to make a movie and publish it. And that's a milestone. And make sure you hit that milestone. Now you will go through a lot of self-doubt again, you will go through a lot of other issues, but I think you will probably have a better shot at increasing your self-esteem when you meet that milestone, because the moment you meet your milestone, your self-esteem goes up and your self-confidence goes up. And once your movie is published, keep going on that trajectory. So the second point is hit that milestone. And the third is be a lot more resilient and be courageous. Because in this journey, failures will come, but don't give up. Once you start doing this process, your self-confidence levels and your confidence levels will be much, much better. Please remember, there will be days your self esteem and self confidence would be shaky. These are moods, emotions, there are lots of parameters. Don't try and keep your confidence high all the time. All of us are human beings, our confidence does take a dip. But if your self esteem is stabilized and if you feel good about yourself, I think your confidence will bounce back in some time. So please take care of yourself. Please think about your self esteem and self confidence. Take these incidents as important milestones of building your character and start doing these simple techniques so that you feel that I'm confident enough to do what I want. Confidence is the fuel to translate your thoughts to action. And if you're not able to translate your thoughts to action, that means your self confidence is low. And if your self confidence is low, that means your self esteem is very, very low. So fix your self esteem, start working on your self confidence, and keep at it, because this is the journey of life.